Am I the fool for not wanting to continue my husband's dead wife's naming aesthetic? Hi all. Please tell me if I am the fool or not. I, 35 female, am 30 weeks pregnant. My husband Emmett, 39 male, was a widower when I met him and he had 2 kids with his wife. They are Emrys, 10 male, and Emerson, 8 female. His late wife was named Ember, and she loved the M aesthetic so that all their names would start with M. Emmett and I have began discussing names. None of the names on my list start with M. My S-ill Mallory was visiting today, and she said that my daughter may grow up feeling singled out and not connected to her siblings if they don't share the M aesthetic. I told her that Emmett and I are going to make a list of 5 names we love, and we'll let Emrys and Emerson choose the name together. In all honesty, I am a bit uncomfortable continuing his late wife's obsession with the aesthetic, so I think my idea is a lovely way for the kids to have a name connections without choosing one with M. Mallory told Emmett that we should name our daughter Emily, which is a name he adores. She kept pushing for me to approve until she hit a nerve, and I told her that I am giving birth to my baby, not Ember's, and I want to choose a name that I love and not an aesthetic that she loved. Emmett got quiet, put his head down, and left the room. Mallory told me that I shouldn't have said that, and that I'm a major AH for saying what I said. I told her that she should have ended the conversation the first time I tried to shut it down. I talked to Emmett, and he told me to forget it and to choose whatever name I like. He hasn't shown any interest in continuing our discussions about names. Reddit, am I the fool here?
Am I the fool for telling a girl to go back to the kitchen? I, 23 male, have been dating my boyfriend Jake, 22 male, for a good 6 years now, so I'm well acquainted with his family. The girl woman I said this to was his sister, Amelia. I was raised by a single mom who worked 2 jobs to support us. So I grew up doing a lot of housework, and in her free time, my mom taught me to cook. I like to think I'm pretty damn good at cooking. I cook for myself, for my boyfriend, and sometimes his family. I have sensory issues, and my boyfriend is allergic to a few things, so I'm pretty good at finding workarounds to accommodate people, including Amelia, so she's well aware that I can cook. Anyway, she came over yesterday and sat down at the island, in the kitchen. I don't quite know how to describe it, but basically she was on the other side, and I was in at the counter, back turned to her, making some lasagna. My specialty. So I turned around to ask if she would like something, and she promptly burst out laughing. I was confused, and she just kind of pointed at my apron. I was more confused. My apron was pretty normal, plain blue. She then told me she'd never have thought I was the girl of the relationship. I assume this was a reference to my physicality. I'm pretty tall and do a lot of sports. I dithered, confused, and she explained that I was cooking. I just continue staring, not quite sure what she meant. She then explained, as though I was a toddler, that cooking is for girls, and the apron made me look like a 90s housewife. The funny part about all of this is that Amelia cannot cook. I told her if cooking is for girls, maybe she should go back to the kitchen so she could learn. I would be more than willing to teach her. She went red in the face and stormed off. I went back to my cooking. This morning, quite a few of my friends have contacted me telling me I, of all people, should know better than to perpetuate gender stereotypes. Some of them agreed with me after hearing the context, which Amelia did not tell them. But others said I did not need to sink to her level. In my opinion, I thought that would show her how weird it was to perpetuate gender roles when she herself doesn't fit within them. But maybe I could have tried explaining first. Am I the fool? Edit. Amelia is not a child, she's 24. Am I the fool for asking my friends if I could stay with them for a few days when my parents were trying to get their adult kids to let me stay? My parents are going out of town for a few days, for next month. They don't want me, 15 male, home alone for 4 days. So they decided to ask their kids, moms are 28, 26, and 24. Dads are 24 and 23, if any of them would want to come stay for a few days, or if they'd let me stay with one of them. Answers were slow coming in, and I wasn't surprised when I heard my parents say none seemed willing. I'm not close to any of my half-siblings. I'd say I don't have any relationship with them. I don't really ever see them, They never talk to me. We're not social media friends. We don't text. They don't send a card or anything for my birthday. I maybe see them at Christmas, but it's not like they actually spend any time with me. I never felt like I had siblings. It always felt like I lived with two sibling sets, and then I was an only child. I say half-siblings because I'm trying to be respectful to my parents who love their kids, but also not making it seem like we're all super close and just siblings, because I have a different parent from each of them, and it matters a lot to them if cousins are right, and they always saw me as the kid their living parent had after they lost their other parent. My parents weren't really getting anywhere, and I asked my best friend's parents if they'd mind me staying for 4 days. They didn't. I told them my parents didn't know yet, but I didn't think the people they were asking would agree. They know the deal by now. So I told my parents, and they were annoyed. I asked my friends' parents instead of waiting for my half-siblings. I told them it seemed like a good idea to have a backup plan in place for when they all say no. My parents said, I don't know that they'll all say no. A few days go by and still no answer from 2 of them, and my parents asked why I appeared to want them to say no. I said it wasn't that. I just expect it. They told me it was difficult enough to know I wish for a sibling, something I didn't know they heard me say, and it was a couple of years ago, and said to my friend, when I have 5 of them, but to know I have such low expectations. I said it's my reality, and it's one they can ignore if they want to. But I don't feel like a sibling to them, and I know they don't consider me a real sibling, any of them. My parents told me I still went behind their back, and it was wrong, and showed such a lack of trust and faith. Am I the fool?